All right, just wanted to do a quick video by request from a Redditor. They wanted to see the side angle of how I write using Palmer method, also known as muscular movement, business penmanship, writing with your arm. That all means the same thing, and the idea is that you have two points of contact with the table, with the surface. The first, really most important point of contact is going to be your forearm muscle at the edge of the table. So your elbow is just hanging off the table, and the forearm muscle just plants right on there. And this is your fulcrum. This is where you keep this stationary, and you move around like this. And you're able to move because the muscle, the skin, has some elasticity, and it stretches, and you have that freedom of movement based on that. But you have the stability of the fulcrum point because this isn't slipping in any way. There's no slippage happening between my arm and the table here. So that's the first point of contact. The second point of contact is going to be with these two fingers. Different books say different things. Some say glide on the nails of the fingers. Some say glide on the flesh just above the nails. I tend to do a combination of both. I can feel like right now I'm doing it, and I can feel, it feels like I'm gliding on the nail of my ring finger. The nail of my pinky finger is in contact, but so is the flesh above. These are details. It's not super important what you do. Just make sure that they are gliding freely and that there's no stickiness. If you had really sweaty hands, maybe you could have some friction in that you don't want. That's why it's helpful to glide on the nail sometimes. But really depends on the nature of your grip, the size of your hand, the length of your fingernails. I mean, all these things come into factor. Don't get too hung up on, oh, I'm not gliding on the nails. Doesn't need to happen on the nails. A lot of great penmen glide on, today and in the past, glided on the flesh above the nails. Things you don't want to do, you'll never see me doing, is gliding on my wrist when I'm doing business penmanship. The wrist does not touch the ground or the surface. When I'm writing, it's off the surface of the table, not touching the paper. You also won't see me gliding on the side of my hand. Business penmanship, arm movement writing requires this kind of palm down grip. So you can see my palm, it's not completely parallel to the table. There's a little bit of an angle this way, but it's very close to parallel. And that's how you get the good action that you want when you're doing business penmanship. So here's the action. I'll move my hand so you can see how the pivot works with my forearm. You can see the fingers, the little fingers are just gliding on the table freely. There's no pressure here. Barely putting any pressure on the page with my pen. You can see I'm not even holding the paper, and the paper isn't moving as I make these ovals. So that's how it works. I love requests. Feel free to leave a request in the comments. I'd love to make a video if you need to see something.